Right everyone, welcome back to another episode of the F124 Driver Career Mode with Williams. This is part number 12 today for the Singapore Grand Prix. If you missed the previous episode at Monza, then I recommend you go and check that one out before seeing this one, because spoiler alert, best result of the season so far, P2. I think on hindsight I could have won it, but you know, Leclerc had slightly too much pace in the end in front of the Tifosi. It could have been a double Williams podium, but Albon had a poor pit stop that put him, you know, he put him down the order and really out of contention there in the end. Now R&D wise, I'm just looking through a few things. There's not a lot that's on offer because we're getting to that point where we're into the majors and we need to get some discounts on these because they are a little bit expensive. As well, one thing that is available is a minor ERS upgrade as well that would come if you rushed it. Would be available for Singapore, otherwise for Brazil of course, because there's a 6-week gap between Singapore and Brazil as well. We're only getting this year though, of course, because of Canada, but I fancy drag reduction as well. We need 60% recognition as what required as well to go on the further on the front downforce, which sort of replaces the new the old HQs where you didn't have, you know, you needed spec 2. So that is interesting. I don't know if Albon, you know, what is Albon able to purchase that? Like, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with that, whether or not we're in a bottleneck because of our team being equal with our teammate, you know. But nevertheless, looking at the R&D table, you know, we've fallen behind Mercedes. They brought an upgrade to shoot ahead of Aston Martin. AlphaTauri have gone from being the 7th fastest team to being the 9th fastest team, the 2nd slowest. So all of those lot very close together though. So that will be interesting. Time though for qualifying.
Is one of our great cinematic settings of the season. Welcome to Singapore. We're under the floodlights with the walls close and pole position up for grabs.
Now the AI are up to their old tricks again. Yeah, I don't know what happened here, but Ricciardo and Bottas it's not Ricciardo and Bottas, Ricciardo and Zhou, excuse me, just decided to slow down randomly at that corner. Not entirely sure what was going on there, but nevertheless. Original fastest lap was good enough for P11, so not too bad. I don't know where my pace is at Singapore, because on F1 2021, it was good, and then obviously they've changed the curbs on F1 2020 and F1 22, and it was a F1 23 was it? I can't remember. It was one of the older F1 games where they changed the curbs, and then Singapore went from being a good track to a terrible track for me. Obviously, we've got the new section, which I think is a bit better on this game compared to F1 when it was introduced in F1 23, because the AI don't quite have the OP traction that they did. So I think they definitely have looked at that corner as well. But yeah. I think this is going to be it's probably going to be a very mid-lap. I'm probably not going to know where my ultimate pace is around here until we get to McLaren basically. But anyway, I've whittled through pretty much 2/3 of the lap, and yeah, we're not exactly improving as well. I've got lower rear wing. It's still like 50. The default's 50-50 wings, but I've lowered the rear wing because of all the straights, and I think that's going to help us in attacking and defending it in the race. So I've gone like, I think it was 50-42 or something like that as well. Up to the line though, it's a 10th improvement. Not the best improvement. I need a bit more improvement if I wanted to continue with the P11. Yeah, I mean, I needed 4/10 to get P11 actually. You know, I could have possibly got Magnussen, but the pace is obviously off. So yeah, I just got to try and do the best. Back down to earth after finishing runner-up in Monza. It's time though for the race today, Singapore Grand Prix.
It's the Singapore Grand Prix, where Sebastian Vettel has the most wins here with 5. Who will be lifting the trophy today here at the Marina Bay Circuit? one of the interesting things about this circuit was the fact that we went under the grandstand. Well, not at the moment. The track layout has been reduced to 3 miles. Turns 16 and 19 are lost for the moment. We now have a straight there. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and Fernando Alonso completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Norris, Hamilton, Oscar Piastri, Russell, Albon, Sainz, Leclerc, Perez, Stroll, Magnussen, Phoenix, Ocon, Hulkenberg, Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Bottas, Joe, and Pierre Gasly picks up the final grid slot today. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. It's race day, it's going to be a thriller. I'm Alex Jakes, alongside me is Naomi Schiff. Well, they're having a better time than their teammates so far this year. How do you keep that momentum going? Now, those final hours before a race, did you have a routine?
Well, every driver certainly has their own way of preparing.
Boss wants another podium finish this weekend. I know you're more than capable.
Those shenanigans there from Mark and Naomi. As a race strategy, it's a one-stop, let's be honest. Medium soft or soft medium, I think that's what we're thinking here. Tyre wear will be harsh, is harsh around here, so the hard tyre is also available, and cut wall might come into play depending on how harsh it is. So that's why I start mediums, the best of both worlds. 500 lights, and away we go. And it's a good start for me, but I say a good start as everyone else in front just ran away. But I'm going to go around the outside of Magnussen being blocked in by the Ferraris. Low position for them after a good result. I did say that, you know, Ferrari might be the one. Ferrari and ourselves might struggle here. We're going to get one of the Ferraris here. Perez is down there, but I mean it's just Perez really. And up at the front, Max Verstappen is already leading by about 48,000 light years. Hamilton and Norris going side by side as well. And I think Hamilton round the outside has got Lando Norris. So Hamilton up to P2. I'm going to go down the inside of the second Ferrari, Charles Leclerc, and instantly get Sergio Perez as well. Can't be hanging around behind this lot as well. And up into the points, ladies and gentlemen, as well. Both Ferraris, as this stands, out of the points. This was 2 textbook moves, by the way, as well. Round the inside, round the outside, turn the inside, the next corner, a lovely little move, as well as Norris is going to get back in front of Hamilton, back up to P2. You can see Verstappen is in another postcode at this point, as he usually is on the F1 game, not usually is in real life these days. But yeah, we haven't had that one. I think that there probably is another performance, and we need a driver update as well. As Perez had a little go there as well through into turn 1, but nothing really doing there. But I don't have pace around here. You can see that by the fact that the gigantic gap that's been formed between myself and Albon's gone round the outside of Fernando Alonso in the Aston Martin. You can see Albon, to be fair, you know, after the poor result he suffered, you know, he had that poor pit stop which he didn't recover. This could be a good result for him as well. Perez is going to pit early on lap 10. I think he will go. He started on the soft tyres. A lot of people start on the mediums, like the 2 Ferraris. I think Perez is going to undercut us, but there's not a lot I can do. If I let the Ferraris go and the people behind me, then I'm going to lose a lot more places and just nice to Perez. And Verstappen is getting held up by at the end of the train, because he also, I think, pitted, started on softs, went to medium tyres as well, and that's Albon going slowly. A disaster from my teammate. He is not having a good season. You know, he's gone from, well, he was leading at Monza and then finished P7. And now he's gone from, well, getting possibly P8 in this race to getting nothing. Because Norris is starting holding everyone up, as well as there's a gap formed between him and Hamilton after everyone's pitted. I finally let Verstappen go. Verstappen literally just caught up. It wasn't holding him up at all. really there. Hamilton is P2 there. See, there is a bit of a gap between Norris and Hamilton as well, but the soft tyres are ready. We've got 8 laps to go. It's actually a good stop. There is Albon's stricken car. Still, I'd love a safety car for that, but sadly, no. As well, I do think there would have been a safety car in real life. We're going to come out behind Ocon and Sainz. Ocon really coming out of nowhere, but Sainz is already over the back of him. As well, you know, that's the thing with Esteban Ocon. Even in real life, he always spawns in the top 10 in some of these races as well. Now, Sainz goes defensive. This is the end of the new section. Round the outside, turns the inside. Can I get it move? Yes! That's a lovely little move. I only have done that move once, and that was in the when they first had this track. You know, using a bit of ERS, round the outside, gives the inside to the next corner. And that was a lovely move. Now close up to Esteban Ocon. Can I get the move here? What I did to Perez earlier? No, that's unfortunate. I have to stick behind as well. Now I'm going to switch the left to the inside. Ocon will hopefully get me the room as he tries to try and cuts across, but he finally yields. And that was more on the exit, the penultimate corner there, rather than down the new straight that's been formed because of the new grandstand that's being built there as well. But yeah, that was more around the outside penultimate corner. But well, Ocon does have to try go back at me with DRS, but Sainz is going to take full advantage and catch Ocon napping and move up into P11 as well. Now there is a bit of a gap forming between the bottom half, of that train. That's because Bottas had a lock up there. So yes, the likes of the two AlphaTauris, as well, Gasly there. The tyres now going off. The gap to Leclerc. I mean, Perez, fair play to him as well. You know, I think I can defend P10, but it's going to be sweaty from here. Sainz is going to be persistent in that Ferrari, down the inside, constantly at turn 1, and constantly having to chop him off in order to keep the position. Look, lap after lap after lap as well. Going a bit wide on that occasion. Now move to the lap. We're finally on the last lap, the final defence. And actually, for this time, I'm going to be helped out by Esty Bestie. Yes, as I squeeze Sainz to the inside, as I have done, as Ocon takes the racing line and is back in front of Carlos Sainz, which is better for me because we all know how slow the Renault engine is. Meanwhile, further up the road, we've got Lando Norris is caught up to Lewis Hamilton. So Lando was holding everyone up earlier. He's now back up in front into P2 with Verstappen. I mean, he's already at the finish line already, and he was so about 20 laps ago as well. Sainz has a go and gets past Ocon. So this was Ocon, you know, the DRS. To be fair, they've not had too much of a go at me down this DRS straight. You think they would have done, but it's actually been turn 1 where they seem to be the major threat, the AI. But Sainz ran the outside of Ocon. Look at the tyre around the rears, 47%. The rears just screaming, and they're on default tyre pressures as well. Maybe, you know, maybe that's something I do need to potentially have a look at. We're putting either higher or lower tyre pressures at tracks where the rears suffer on the setup. Let me know if you've got any tips that you found that gives lower or higher tyre wear in the comments below. But yeah, by the way, I don't run, I only run surface only temperatures because that's what the AI have. So you know, if the AI had carcass temperatures and that overheating, then of course I would run it, but I haven't done so simply because of that. But yeah, disappointment for Albon, and you know, he would be he'd be gutted. You know, that's more points thrown away from him. You know, I didn't have the best result today, only P10. I think that's probably where the car probably is. You know, we've got 5 teams that are in front of us, and at the end of the day, Ferrari, though, it wasn't a good track for them. I'm expecting them to bounce back at Brazil, but we should be able to do better as well. I think we can, and mix it up. Hopefully we can get Albon involved at Brazil. In terms of our stats, my rating, Racecraft is up to 70% because it's still broken as well. Pace has gone up as well. And the recognition, I think, has gone up to 48% now as well. This is what I was saying earlier about the R&D potentially being an issue where, you know, we're so level as well. But we'll have to wait and see if we can ever do that. 3 out of 4 on the specialist isn't too bad as well. But yes, P10, it's a point. I mean, you know, Sykes was just attacking lap after lap. It was the same attack. He didn't vary his attack at all. You know, he didn't try in a different place. You know, it was always at turn 1, and that's sometimes an issue with the AI as well. I think they're definitely worse than last year's game. You know, Leclerc and Perez, fair play to them. They made the undercut work for them. Leclerc obviously loses a huge amount of points to Verstappen in his championship challenge, and then, you know, Verstappen, you know, all after that little bit of a lull. You know, he hasn't been off the podium since Miami. If Leclerc is going to beat him, then he needs to be a lot more consistent, you know, and he needs help from everyone else, because even then, you know, with 4 races to go, Verstappen is looking very likely to be getting a 4th championship in a row as well. But we have got 2 sprint races in that as well. But the next episode, Brazil, that episode will be out next week because sprint races take forever to record as well. So yes, if you are new around here, then please do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. If you have enjoyed, then please do leave a like. And until the next video, then see you next time. Take care, enjoy your day, and goodbye.